Hey everyone, and welcome to today's episode of Making Your Own Design Academy. My name is Cynthia Akita, and I'm your brand strategist and educator here at the Design Pharmacy. Now we are continuing with our series with the new features that were released during Canva Create 2025. And we're still using Canva AI, but today we're going to focus on drafting a document. Now, I do want to point out that when you click on Canva AI, it does show you all the different things that Canva AI is able to do. And they're categorized: image, right, code, and all of that. Design is also another one. So again, today we're going to focus on drafting a document. Now, Canva is so kind to show us some examples of the different things that we can do here. And so an example is write a blog post about caring for houseplants. Pardon my voice, I have a little bit of a cold. Draft a blog about sustainable fashion trends. Compose analysis of, write a review of a book series. Draft an outline for a preview of podcast series. Now, this sounds interesting, so let's go with that. Now, you could have also written out your own prompt, but we'll see what they come up with, and then we'll do that. All right, so I want to be more specific. When we zoom in, we see briefly introduce the podcast series, podcast name, host, overall premise, summary of the series, overview of the podcast format. That's a great point. Describe the episode structure, key themes. Okay. So I want to see if we can get more specific. All right, so excuse the typos. And I'm going to see how Canva AI responds to this type of a request. So I'm talking to it like I would typically talk to like a chat GPT. So I want to see if, it follows that same flow of conversation. So I wrote, I want to update this to fit a specific podcast. The podcast is about moms who share their me time experiences where they spend time away from their kids. Can you write a more specific outline to fit that? Now let's see what it comes up with. Sure thing. I'll draft a more specific outline for review of the podcast series about moms sharing their me time experiences. Just a moment, I'll work on that. So let's see. All right, so too bad I can't do like a side by side. I probably could have done it in a browser, but anyway, briefly introduce the podcast and the premise, state the purpose of the review, highlight the importance of me time for mothers and its relevance. So it did get more specific there. Overview of the format, number of episodes, general release schedule, all of that's cool. So key themes and topics: guilt and justification, how moms address feelings of guilt about taking time for themselves. And that is 1,000% true. So I appreciated getting more specific there based off of the information that I provided. Now, I'll go through a couple more, but let me just skim through the rest. So I'm sure this information generally stayed the same because we didn't really check that out on the other template. But again, these are more so about how the show is run and the audience and all of that. All right, so back to the key themes and topics: types of me time, hobbies, creative pursuits, self-care practices, exercise, meditation, social activities and friendships, career development, professional goals. So this is really great. impact on family, effects on children and partner relationships, improve mental and emotional well-being for mothers, modeling healthy boundaries and self-care for children, time management and logistics, strategies for fitting me time into busy schedules. That would definitely speak to me. And then support systems, the role of partners, family, and friends in enabling me time. So this is an entire podcast that, we basically have a foundation for that we could really start to expand on. Now, if we want to go ahead and edit this, in some of the other videos, you could edit certain parts of a flyer. That doesn't apply here for the document. So we're going to use Canva Editor, and it tells you double click to edit. Ooh, nice. So it's showing you a banner out of a different, I guess like a different window in Canva, but it's all connected. That reminds me of Manifest. It's all connected. So there you can go ahead and change the fonts. I'm going to keep that. I'm going to put me time podcast review. All right, and then I'm going to hit save at the top, and then that's going to update that banner there. So that's pretty cool. And you could also delete it, or use some of the other options there, or unset it as a banner. That's also another option. And then we have the introduction if you want to change that. And you have your quick actions here, which allows you to add a heading, body, table, all of those cool things to the document to further format it and make it fit whatever you want it to do. See emojis. So yeah, put an emoji in there. If you have the if you have Apple, I know sometimes function works, but in this case it doesn't. So yeah, just go ahead and hit that plus sign, and there are some shortcuts here that you can utilize. The emoji, to my understanding, does not have a shortcut, but again, you could just click the plus sign and kind of add it in, and then you can go ahead and continue typing however you would. And you could just make this one long document, or you can go ahead and, let's say you want to add a page break here. You can do that page break. So then now it's 2 pages. Now, the only question I would have is, I don't know how that works. And you can actually move the page break, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, you can move the page break. I don't know how that works in terms of the actual size of the document. If you can kind of maybe use the what are they called, the rulers, to make sure that it's an 8x5, 8.5 by 11. That's not something I've actually played around with, but it would be cool to see how that works, to ensure that you're putting a page break in the right place, or if you're just using it to separate ideas, that's also an option there as well. So yeah, so page break, but you also have the option to show it as a divider, which is what I just did there, and then you could change the color, so, or delete it, all in all. So there's one. Let's see if we could do another document. All right, compose a poem. That's gonna be fun. Compose a poem about the sounds of a city at dawn. Okay, so we've got one. Let's look at it. Before the sun. I feel like I need some music and some drums beating or something. Before the sun, a hush descends. A city sleeps, its clamor ends. But listen close, a subtle stir. A dawn chorus, a gentle purr. First a whisper, far and faint, a distant train, a mournful plaint. Then tires hum on slicked asphalt, a lone car's journey, shadows cast. What? Wait a minute. The vibe totally left. What happened? What in the world happened here, Canva? So I know back in school, way back when I was in school, there are different types of poems. So I would probably use that to specify, I think like one type of poem was called like a haiku. So let me see. Write a haiku poem about a businesswoman who loves what she does and gets to live the life of her dreams. Let's see. Wait, that's it? In suits, she finds joy, dreams lived in each business ploy, success her real toy. Where's the rest? Let me see. To add 3 more stanzas. I said, of course. Okay, boardrooms, her playground, ideas, they do abound, victories compound. Okay. I don't remember what a haiku is, so I should probably Google it to ensure that this is like the format that it's supposed to follow. But anyway, her passion, it gleams in every project it teams, living out her dreams. End of day draws near, in her success she'll cheer for the love of career. That's so cute, guys. Let me see. So you can copy, you can turn that in and of itself into a document. Good response. This is a good response. I'm gonna give you that one. So let's create a doc there. Yeah, so, oh, this is cool. And so again, you would double click to edit it. It'll open up the pop-up where this is most likely going to be like a video of some sort. As you can see, it's cropped bigger. Yeah, so there's that. I can give the poem a title. You could double click to edit that or whatever you do. Then you hit save, and then you've got your, well, actually I need to go back and get that first part of the poem. So there we go. Copy this, and then I'm gonna add it over here. And there we go. We have our businesswoman haiku poem. And that's how you can use Canva AI to help you create a document. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one.